So ex-NBA player Eaton Thomas wants to know, why hasn't Middle America given Paige Bueckers the Caitlin Clark treatment? Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next video. And Rob, Caitlin Clark's crossovers every Monday and Thursday, 6 to 7 on Monday, 5:30 to 6:30 on Thursdays. It's like a sports reporters type forum, and it's pretty cool. We have guest podcasters, and it's continues with our live show after that. It's on Eastern time, and it's except for major holidays, Rob. So we have an ex-player who played at Syracuse University and then played in the NBA. Didn't have a great career, Eaton Thomas. And so he wrote an article for The Guardian. So here's the article, Rob. Very interesting article. And there's no truth to it, but it's interesting. So he talks about how successful Paige Bueckers has been, which everybody knows in his career. And then he said to bounce back from a serious injuries is amazing in itself, but to come back arguably better than she was before deserves a standing ovation. Okay, so everybody, all right. Let me just stand right up. Yet Bueckers doesn't receive the same fawning attention from large parts of white America as Clark, a player of similar skills. Why? Okay, Rob, you want to answer why? Just trying to think so we can just end this.
Well, because she's not as good as her, and she's not as exciting as her.
And that seems to be an issue, Rob, that Black America, especially Black women, are having trouble accepting. Have they ever watched men's sports, Rob? The male athlete, regardless of whether they're white or Black, always gets the most attention if they're the most exciting athletes, regardless of whether they're the best player or not. So any player who's exciting tends to get a little overrated and always gets more attention. So why is that so bothersome to people with Caitlin Clark, Rob? Why doesn't it doesn't bother people that much in male sports, and it hasn't bothered that much people throughout history? Yeah, it bothers people a little bit because they always say, "Oh, he's not as good as he is. People just like him because they're exciting," but they don't lose their shorts over it, Rob. They don't.
Because I mean they don't want to jump on the Caitlin Clark. They're afraid of. To me, it's like a fear factor. They're afraid that Caitlin Clark is going to be one of the greatest women's basketball player of all times, and they can't deal with it.
I agree. So here it is. They go on. Perhaps it's because, unlike Clark, Bueckers has always been outspoken about issues off the court. At the 2021 ESPYs, Bueckers was named the College Athlete of the Year. She used her acceptance speech to celebrate and honor Black women in particular. I mean, the WNBA in general wasn't getting any attention. Even the white players weren't getting attention, Rob. So
right, nobody's getting attention.
And then, she went overboard with her stats. She says only 19 at the time. She told the audience that in the previous WNBA season, 80% of the postseason awards were won by Black players, but they received a fraction of the coverage given to their white peers. I don't know. Asia Wilson seems to get all the attention from the WNBA. So that's my impression. Yeah, and Angel Reese gets a lot of attention now. But at the time, they weren't in the league. But Asia Wilson, I heard her name all the time. While Black America cheered Bueckers, it seemed like mainstream white America, a demographic that once viewed her as, in her words, a media darling, weren't singing her praise quite as much and still don't. Is this a coincidence? So, Rob, she hasn't played as well as her freshman year. She was the best player in the country her freshman year. And so far, and she's not going to win Player of the Year this year because we already have two awards that came out, and Juju Watkins won both of them. So she's no longer the best player in the country. So why would we be singing her praises as much as before?
Well, also, Mark, it's also, I mean, with women's basketball, it tends to be a lot more regional. Of course, the East Coast is totally all UConn. Down south, it's totally South Carolina. In the Midwest, you have Iowa. Even though you have Iowa, and out west you have USC. So with women's basketball, a lot of it's most of it. In fact, I say most of it's regional.
All right. Well, anyways, they go on and still don't. Is this a coincidence? Or maybe because her injuries have made people forget her greatness as an athlete? Possibly. But she's back from injury now. So why aren't people as focused on Bueckers as they were from last season when she was tearing up college basketball? Maybe if Bueckers had delivered a more vanilla ESPY speech, things would have been different. Well, we just answered all that before. Clark is more exciting and she's better. So,
Right.
I don't think people aren't following Paige Bueckers because they didn't like her speech, Rob. I just don't get that impression.
Yeah, that has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with anything. Her speech. I mean, what do people care? I mean, how many people even watch the ESPYs? I didn't watch.
Right. I didn't watch it either.
I mean, how many people really tune into the ESPYs? I don't watch it. I'm like, this is like another one of those stupid award things that people put up there. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. Another factor is the Angel Reese effect. I didn't know there was an Angel Reese effect.
Oh, here we go.
Now she gets the same name as Caitlin Clark. Oh my God. All right. I'll just go on. I can't handle it. Women's college basketball ratings surged in the last two NCAA tournaments. No, Caitlin Clark's college basketball ratings surged in the last two NCAA tournaments. Some of that has to do with the excellence of the players on show, but some of it was for less edifying reasons. Much of the media made Reese the villain to Clark's heroine after the Black Princess upstaged the Great White Hope in the 2023 NCAA Tournament Championship game. There's no bias in that sentence, Rob.
Look at all listen to all the superlatives on there. Did you count how many superlatives that were in there?
What?
Did you count how many, Mark? How many superlatives that were in there? White Hope, Black Princess.
So Angel Reese is the Black Princess, which means, okay, she's this darling. And Caitlin Clark is just a white hope. She's not real. She actually is not performing up to par. When in fact, she had two 40-point games, one which was a triple-double and one which was almost a triple-double leading up to that game. So she wasn't a great white hope. She was a great performer who happened to be white. That's all that happened. Who was playing great.
Wasn't no great white hope. No one said she was a great white. See, again, they put that in there because they want this. They think they want this white. They want a white woman in there, and like, we found one that's a really great ball player. But what there was, like you said, there was no hope. She was the player.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
For the poor little princess. Oh, and the little princess.
Nobody was calling Angel Reese a Black Princess. So,
well, he says Black Princess, and then she was demonized, or people hated on her because good. It's like good versus evil.
Oh my God, this is hilarious. All right. The viral image of Reese defiantly waving her hand in front of her face, the same taunt Clark used in a previous game. We've covered that before. I'll get to that. Transformed Clark and Reese from great players to lightning rods for racial animus. It didn't transfer Clark into a lightning rod for racial animus. It transferred Reese because she made it about race because she was jealous of Caitlin Clark because she was white. Caitlin Clark didn't give a crap. She was just playing.
It wasn't a race thing. It was an unsportsmanlike thing. That's where the hate came. They weren't hating her because of her color. They were disliking her because of her antics. That had nothing to do with race.
And Rob, I'll say this again. It wasn't the hand in the face thing so much that bothered me. It was the ring thing when the game was no longer in doubt. So it was the two things together. And she was gloating, stalking, and taunting her. And it wasn't trash talking because the game was out of reach. Caitlin Clark did it 2 minutes into the third quarter when she had just hit a three and made it a 9-point game. The game was still in doubt. So again, there was so much difference in what they did, but they don't want to accept that because they can make a racial argument. But,
they want to play into, like, I don't know why they want to make it into a racial thing instead of like it's who's better in basketball player. Who's the best basketball player? Doesn't matter what color they are. Who's the better basketball player?
People who had no interest in women's basketball suddenly became fanatics in every sense of the word for all the worst reasons. Yes, people start cheering on because she beat the Great White Hype. That's why, the wrong reason. They cheered on her because she was black. That's the wrong reason to be a fan of her. People weren't cheering on Caitlin Clark because she was white for the most part. almost all their fans don't give a crap that she's white. But almost all of Angel Reese fans care that she's black and care that her team beat Caitlin Clark's team, who's white. So this is completely wrong.
Right.
All the worst reasons. Yeah. Worst reasons on Angel Reese's side, not on Caitlin Clark's. Right. They were there to cheer Clark's whiteness. There's no indication that's true. They were there to cheer Caitlin Clark being exciting and the player of the year, which she was, and attack Reese's blackness. No, they were attacking her unsportsmanlike conduct, not their talent.
How can you attack her blackness? What does that mean? Attacking her blackness. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Attacking her blackness. What I don't understand.
Okay. When she was drafted in the WNBA last year, Clark repeatedly asked fans not to weaponize her, but it didn't stop her becoming a dubious hero for bigots. She wasn't a hero for bigots. She was a hero for her fans, and there were some bigots who were trolls on internet. God, every sentence here is inaccurate, Rob.
Yes.
Who often spewed racist abuse at her black opponents. Where? And Twitter? Or in real life? No one heard anything.
She wasn't on social media, and then most of the hate was directed towards Caitlin Clark was from the black media or black side, the black owners, the WNBA. I could go on.
I could go on. This is upsetting me. Clark had become a huge star because of her sheer talent. Wow, he finally gave her a compliment. She was a WNBA All-Star and Rookie of the Year in 2024. I'm surprised it's not saying that she got it because she was white and that Angel Reese deserved it. But also because
Angel Reese helped her. No, Angel Reese helped her be Rookie of the Year.
It's going to say this in the next sentence. But also because of her supposed rivalry with Reese, the rivalry both players played down, and it has to be said, profited financially from. Caitlin Clark would have become huge no matter what, even if Angel Reese didn't do this. So Reese profited financially more than Caitlin Clark did, which of course he didn't point that out. But anyway,
Caitlin Clark was already financial ahead of her.
I know.
She was already selling out jerseys, arenas. Come on.
Meanwhile, there has been no black villain for Bueckers to compete against. The fact that this has meant
hold up. Why does there have to be this black-white villain? What does this have to do with anything?
That's the only reason Caitlin Clark is popular. Didn't you know that?
Oh, because of the black villain, the white hat and the black
popular.
hat.
That's the theory.
Okay.
We've covered that in videos.
Oh, gosh. This is so lame.
Oh, the fact that has meant she gained less attention and adoration from Middle America says a lot about the state of the country. Yeah, that a lot of black people are upset that this white woman's getting too much attention and money. That's what it says. That's all it says.
That's the bottom line.
A lot of black people, mostly women, are all upset that Caitlin Clark is getting more attention than the black women. That's what this is all about. Let's just call it a spade, as Ben Daniels podcast like to say.
That's it.
Oh my God. That's unbelievable. I don't know if I can read anymore, Rob.
Yeah, I'm already done with this already.
There's only one sentence left that I'm going to do. One sentence. Bueckers is a special player and deserves every ounce of praise and respect, both on and off the court. But if she does end up winning a championship and still doesn't receive the praise given to Clark, you'll know why. No, we won't. We'll know why. It's because she's not as exciting and not as good.
Because they go back and forth with Juju Watkins. Paige Bueckers doesn't get respect. Not Juju Watkins doesn't get enough attention. Paige Bueckers doesn't get enough attention. The reason why is because they both are not exciting ball players. That's the main reason. They're not exciting.
No, neither one of them are that exciting. I mean, Hannah Dago is more exciting than both of them. And
yes.
That's why I like watching Hannah Dago more than the two of them.
Right.
And I have no bias towards Hannah Dago. I didn't even know who she was until she got into college, you know? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They can't accept when someone's more exciting than another player. It has to be about race if the person's not getting enough attention. Why can't it be just because the person's exciting and because they're good?
And good versus evil. What they have to make this into some kind of drama? The good wearing the hat. and the white girl trying to take away the black woman's honor. Oh, what a story. We got to make this into a story.
What's so ironic about this, Rob, is that most of the black athletes, I follow basketball and football, so I'm biased towards that area. Most of the black athletes are the ones that are considered most exciting and the ones that tend to get more attention because they're exciting athletes. That doesn't seem to bother the black community when that happens.
No.
Let's just be honest about this.
Yeah, let's throw out a name. Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders.
Michael Jordan.
Deion Sanders, was he a great DB?
Barry Sanders.
No, I mean, but I mean, was Deion Sanders really that great a defensive back?
Well, yes, but he was also really good. Yeah. Adrian Peterson. Do I have to go on with all the players throughout sports and basketball and football that were black athletes that were exciting and became really, really popular? Not just because they were great, but partly because they were very exciting to watch.
Right.
White people weren't saying, "Oh, we can't get behind this person. He's black. That he's getting too much attention." No, they just enjoyed him as an athlete and watched him. That's what happened. That's what happens in sports.
Him. Right.
Oh my God. One white athlete gets a lot of attention, and she happens to be really exciting, and they can't accept the fact that that's the main reason. That's all this is about. That's all this is about. The whole thing
is she herself, Caitlin Clark, promotes black women. She's gotten the WNBA to have charter flights, you know, and if the WNBA, which they didn't do, would have promoted her, they would have been even better league. But no, they were too afraid. And then on the other side, you had the black women who were scared of this white woman who was better than them. So they had to try to put her down. Geez, where have I heard that before? Someone being put down because of their color. Gee, where have I heard that?
I don't know, Rob, but this is a ridiculous article. And it's not going to stop, okay? You can see it with Juju. You can see it with everything. You can see it with Angel. Angel was supposedly going to be rookie of the year halfway through the year. Juju, they want Juju to replace Caitlin already. It's delayed now, and I wish her well, and I hope she recovers 100%. But still, they're using her as I'll quote that one guy, what's his name, Dennis, avatar. They use her as an avatar to try to replace Caitlin Clark. And it's just, I don't know why it's necessary to replace anybody. No one's trying to replace Jokic in the NBA because he's white. Yeah. Nobody's trying to replace him. There's no effort to replace him right now. They're just trying to be as good as they can. He's the best player in the league. He has been for 5 years. And the other players are just practicing as hard as they can to become better than him. That's all that's happening. Nobody's
Tom Brady. Tom Brady. I mean, see, no one said anything about the NFL like, oh, who's this white guy, Tom Brady?
And unless the league is 99% black, occasionally a white person is going to be the best player in the league. That's all there is to it. You're just going to have to accept it. It happens sometimes in football. It happens sometimes in basketball, even though they're 70 to 80% black or whatever percentage is nowadays because it changes every year. Same thing in the WNBA. It's about 70% black, 20% white, 10% whatever. But sometimes it's not going to be a black person that's going to be the best player in the league or the most popular. It just happens. Just accept it when it happens. And then eventually a black person will be the best player, the most exciting player. And in a couple of years, it'll just happen. It just will.
I mean,
why does it bother you? It's not 100% of the time.
And to me, Mark, here's my deal. I think suppose if she was Asian and she was one of the best players, would you think there'd be this much of an uproar if she was Asian?
No, I don't think Asians. I don't think Asians have as much power in our country right now. So I don't think they do, and they're considered a minority, just like a black. Not in the same way. It's a completely different concept. But Rob, that's a great question, and we have a player. We have a player that's coming up next year, Aaliyah Chavez, who's Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
What will happen when she comes up, Rob? How are the blacks going to treat her, rate her? Or are they going to be upset about her publicity because she's Mexican now instead of white? So you just asked that question. I'm saying we might get an answer, Rob, because I've seen the highlights and I watched one of her games. She's an exciting player. I'm not saying she's Caitlin Clark, but she's talented and exciting. So she will get publicity and she will be rated highly, I think, when she gets in college. Again, I'm not even saying she'll be player of the year ever. I'm just saying she will be a good player and she'll be exciting. So we'll find out how much attention she gets from the press and how popular she is. Because she's Mexican. She's not white. She's not black. Mexican. So I think that's a similar question to what you asked about Asian, Rob. They won't accept her like they accept Juju. They won't promote her like they do Juju. They won't overrate her and overhype her like they do Juju. She's going to get more of the Hannah Hidalgo treatment, Rob, who's Puerto Rican. That's what she's going to get.
Right.
And for me, I'm just going to, if she's exciting and great, I'm going to watch her. If she's not exciting and not great, I'm not going to watch her. I don't care what she's Mexican or not, white or white. I don't care what she is. I don't care what Juju is either. For Christ's sakes.
Yeah, just get rid of this stupid concept of trying to make a drama out of a. I mean, like it's the only. Why is it only the women's game that's like this? Why is it like seriously? Why is it only the women's basketball that is?
There's
so
very little of this in the
intentional?
NBA, Rob. There's a little bit, but very little. And I think there's less every year. I think there really is, because like I said, I mean, there was some pushback to Larry Bird getting hype and winning MVPs and publicity and all like that. That he thought they was overrated until he won 3 MVPs in a row and won 3 championships. And say, oh, maybe he wasn't overrated. Right. But there wasn't a lot of pushback. There was just some. There were some black quotes from black players, and with Jokic is, except for Kendrick Perkins, there's almost no pushback in terms of Jokic, in terms of being the best player. They don't care. They're just like, okay, if he's the best player, whatever. He's the best player. He's white. He happens to be white. I don't care.
Look at the stats. That's all you have to say. Look at the stats.
Yeah, and I don't think he's the most exciting. He's exciting in some ways, but he's not the most exciting player. We know that. He's not considered the most exciting player. Most exciting player, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, SGA, they're considered more exciting. So who cares? And they get more publicity. Jokic isn't going around, hey, where's my publicity? There's not articles written about why doesn't Jokic get more publicity. Nobody's writing articles about that.
I don't see any.
It's going to be a fort. He's going to win. He might win even if he doesn't win this year. He's going to come in second, and he was second the other year. Like he's going to have 3 or 4 MVPs in a 5-year period, and you can argue that he should have won it every year. You can make that argument. I'm not making that argument, but you can make that argument that he deserved it every one of those 5 years. That's pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right, Rob. I'm exhausted. This is Friday afternoon, Rob. I'm definitely going to have to go out for happy hour. Have a drink.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Let us know what you think down below. All right. So, hey, if you like this video, hit the like button and share with your family, friends, and acquaintances. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. And we don't care if you're green. We even like Martians. It's cool here. As long as they're good basketball players and they're exciting, we support them. And don't forget about Caitlin Clark's crossover. It's every Monday and Thursday, 6 to 7 and 5:30 to 6:30 Eastern time, except for major holidays. It's like a sports reporters forum, a live debate about Caitlin Clark and women's basketball and sometimes basketball and football. And it's except for major holidays, of course. And if you want to donate to this channel, you can with super chats and super thanks. And there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.